Welcome to Chapter 2, Lesson 1 on page 89, Decimals and Fractions. Let's get started. The instruments below show the part of students in the school orchestra that play each type of instrument. Brass, 0.25. Write 0.25 in word form. Okay, well, this is the tenths place and the hundredths place. So we write 25. And then here's the place value, 100. Just spell 100. And then put this ths at the end. So you really got to say it ths with your tongue out. Hundredths. And now it says write 0.25 as a fraction. So we know it's out of 100. 25 out of 100. And of course, if we were putting this in simplest form, we would know that 25 out of 100 is the same as 1/4. Okay, the percussion is 0.15 or 15. So we would write 15, and we have tenths and hundredths. So we write hundredths. And 0.15 as a fraction would be 15 out of 100. Okay, and if you're going to put into simplest form, which we probably should always do, divide by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And 100 divided by 5 is 20. So 3/20. That would be simplest form. Okay, strings, 0.31 or 31 hundredths. Write 0.31 as a fraction, 31 out of 100, and you can't put that in simplest form because they don't share any factors. Woodwind instrument, 0.29, so we have 29 hundredths and 29 out of 100. Again, no common factors, so that is simplest form. All right. Write decimals as fractions and mixed numbers. Decimals like 0.25, 0.15, 0.31, and 0.29 can be written as fractions with denominators of 10, 100, 1,000, and so on. Any number that can be written as a fraction is a rational number. Now, this is a big concept, and you'll learn a lot about this in 8th grade, but anything that can be written as a fraction is a rational number. Decimals like 3.25, 26.82, and 125.54 can be written as mixed numbers in simplest form. Okay, here's some examples, and here we have a place value chart. Hundreds, thousands, hundreds, tens, ones, tenths, hundreds, thousands, and so forth. Write each decimal as a fraction in simplest form. Okay, please pay attention to when it says in simplest form. I would hate to have to take points off on quizzes and tests if you simply miss simplest form. Remember, if you can, you should. Okay, so the place value chart shows that the place value of the last decimal place is the tenths. And they've put it in there. So 6 out of 10. And then they've reduced here, divide by 2, divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, so you have 3 over 5 because that GCF, remember, greatest common factor was 2. Okay, the next one is 0.45 or 45 hundredths. Okay, the GCF is 5. They can both be divided by 5. 45 divided by 5 is 9. 100 divided by 5 is 20. And they've put 45 on the place value chart. Same here, 0.375. Say 175 thousandths. And they're dividing by, what is the GCF they're dividing by? Looks like dividing, what did they divide by to get 3? And to get 8? Well, let's see. How did they go from 3 to 8? I would think, let's move over here. I would divide by 25, because that's something common. It's definitely a common factor, maybe not the greatest common factor, but remember there's 4 25s in 100. So 4 times 3, that's 12, plus 3, so there'd be 15. And in 1,000, there'd be 40. And then divide by 5. Divide by 5. And get 8. Okay, so that's where they got this 3/8 from. Okay. And they've put in the place value chart. Okay, got it? So let's see these problems. What does it want? Well, let's go back to the instructions. Write each decimal as a fraction in simplest form. Okay, so write these as fractions. Okay, I'll get you started. Okay, right? But put it in simplest form. Don't forget simplest form. Okay, if you're listening to me right now, you'll make sure that you put all of this into simplest form. Make it a fraction, then turn it into simplest form, and then write your answer here. Okay, I'm not going to do it. You need to do it. Okay, so finish it out, and we'll check it in class. All 3, A, B, and C. Okay. The average length of a conch shell, ooh, so beautiful. I actually was lucky enough to get to see one of these for real in the ocean. I was at the top snorkeling. There's me. And my brother-in-law dove down because he's basically a merman and can hold his breath for a long time. And he got one of these and brought it up to the surface to show me. It was alive. It still had the orange body. It's like a clam kind of thing, like a snail. And I could see the body. It was really cool. Huge, huge, absolutely huge, gorgeous. Anyways, I digress. The average length of a conch shell is 9.85 inches. Express 9.85 as a mixed number. Okay, well, we know that the whole is already 9, so we don't have to do much there. You already have a whole number 9 and 85 out of 100. You don't have to do anything. Just leave the 9 there. Okay, the 9 is going to be whole. You don't have to turn it into an improper fraction. Just leave the 9 and reduce the second part. Okay? Now, what if they divided by 8? Okay? No, not, sorry, 8. What am I saying? They divided by 5 here, right? Goes one time, 3 left over, 35. 7, 1 times 5 is 35. There you go, okay? And we know divided by 5, 100 divided by 5 is 20. 17 over 20. Okay, got it? It takes approximately 4.65 quarts of milk to make a pound of cheese. Express this amount as a mixed number. So I hope you just leave the 4. The 4 is already whole. Okay, now you have to figure out this part, the 0.65, as a fraction in simplest form. Okay, don't let me down. Make sure you put in the simplest form. Gotta find my highlighter here. Simplest form. Okay. Write fractions and mixed numbers as decimals. Okay, so now we're going in reverse, right? So you have to somehow get it to have a base of 10 or a base of 100 or 1,000. So there's 2 ways. You could simplify down to an equivalent fraction. Okay, so that's what they did. 9/12. You can see if you divide by 3, you're going to get 3/4. And you should know just automatically that 3/4 is the same as 75 out of 100. Remember, 25 plus 25 plus 25, that's 75. 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 25s, okay? 3/4. This one you need to have memorized for sure. Or you could do it a different way. You could divide the numerator by the denominator. So if it's not as simple, if it's not an easy fraction, you could say 9 divided by 12, because that is what this is. This is the division bar right here. That means division. The top number divided by the second number. Okay, and 9 goes into, and remember, bring that decimal up. 12 goes into 90 7 times. It's 84. 6 left. Bring down that 0. 12 goes into 60 5 times. Okay. So now do these. You can just expand them to be out of 10 or out of 100. Or this one's a little trickier, so you might have to divide 102 by 250 or find a way to reduce it. There's a couple of different ways. Okay? All right. We'll check those in class. A caterpillar, well, there's the picture, can have as many as 4,000 muscles compared to humans who have about 600. Write the length of the caterpillar as a decimal. It's interesting. So if we look at the picture, 1 3/8. So 1 3/8. Okay, the 1 is already whole, so we already know 1 point something. And then 3/8. Now, pay attention, because if you look back, we did something with 3/8. Remember over here? 3/8 was 0.375. So we learned that already. So 1.375, because we already have a whole 1. All right, you're going to do the guided practice in class, but I want to go down to this building on essential questions, because it seems like we really have a hard time with those when we're in class. So I'll just go ahead and help you out. What is the relationship between fractions and decimals? Don't overcomplicate this. It just means, how are they together? Okay, well, fractions, all decimals are fractions, right? Decimals are fractions. Decimals show parts. Fractions show parts. Decimals show parts, fractions also show parts of a whole. Okay, what's the difference? Fractions can have any denominator, right? Any number of pieces in the whole. But decimals only have denominators of 10, 100, thousands, etc. 10,000s, 100,000s, million, okay, base 10. Decimals show parts, fractions also show parts of a whole. They're both parts of a whole, but fractions can have only any denominator, and decimals only can have denominators of 10, 100, 1,000, etc. Okay. I have a little picture today for you. Let's see, where should we draw it? We didn't use this space here, so we'll draw it right here. So I'm going to draw a little superhero. All right. I got this step-by-step book, so please don't think that I made this up. I'm not really that strong in art skills, but I am seeking to learn. So here's his body, and here's his waist, and we're going to draw some legs here. Oops. And sort of a dome-shaped head, not dome, rectangle-shaped head, and a mask going across. So leave a little area for his nose, neck, and we need some powerful arms. Give him some eyes, and a nose, and a smile, maybe a big billowing cape. And of course some superhero boots. Maybe he's like a big-footed man. Yeah, he's Mr. It's like not Aquaman, but kind of, I think. Like, yeah, what make him into that's his superpowers, like aqua flippers. And he needs some gloves. So make sort of like a hourglass shape here. And some thumbs. And some hair. And maybe like a dash of lightning or something like that on his superhero outfit. Okay, there he is. I will see you in class.